What's been going on in Nevada for over a few decades now is a critical teacher shortage. In fact, we haven't had full classrooms since 1994.
I think it's like 35% of our teacher workforce right now is over the age of 50. That means we're all retiring. If we think we have a problem now, I don't even want to imagine what it's going to be like in 5 years.
Students come the first day of school, whether we have staff or we do not.
There's not enough subs, there's not enough teachers, class sizes grow. If you would ask me, do I want to get paid more? No. Right, the number one thing that would help me the most is lower class sizes, which is impossible without more teachers.
Teachers make all the other careers possible, right? If we're not supporting our youngest students to become academically successful, when they go on to their future careers, they're not going to be prepared.
We call our program Nevada Forward because what we're interested in is moving the whole state forward across economic sectors. And for us, the key to doing that is having a strong base of teachers.
We're changing the demographics of who teachers are. And that not only is an impact for our students who have models in the classroom that look like them, it also shows those students that I too can go to college and I can pick a career of my passion. We really see this program as not only having an impact on filling teacher shortages, it's also a way that we can foster workforce development for youth and many generations to come. The majority of our students in this program are what we typically consider non-traditional students. Folks that never had an opportunity to go to college, or maybe they took a few college courses early in their life and life happened.
It doesn't matter if they're coming to UNLV with 0 post-secondary credits, or they already have an associate's degree, or even if they already have a bachelor's degree and they're wanting to go into education. UNLV is taking the time to meet these students where they are, put the courses in place in order for them to get there.
We have to think outside the box on how we're going to get educators in the classroom, and the best way to recruit people to become teachers in the classroom or to see people who are actually in the building already.
They've started out as in the lunchroom, they've started out as our paras. They've shown how passionate they are for education. And truly they know our kids and the needs that they have.
I have been at this school, this is going on my 15th year. Previous to this position, I was a school secretary for 13 years. We have so many teaching positions open. I had a responsibility if I wanted our students to succeed and I was capable, that maybe I should start considering becoming a teacher.
I've been a substitute at this school for about 10 years now, and for the last 3 years, I have actually had my own classroom. After the first year, I knew that I probably would never do anything else again. They would come in and they wouldn't know their letters and sounds, and by the time that they left me, they were reading. That was just such an amazing feeling to know that I could be impactful to my little friends.
I heard about the program from my coworkers. They were talking about it, and I was talking about how I wanted to finish my degree, and I felt like I was too old to do it. So they were telling me about it, and I was like, I need to do this.
What's great about the accelerated model is that it's the same program, it's the same number of courses, the same sequence of courses. What we're doing is accelerating it and recognizing that as working individuals who already work in schools, who already have access to working with students, they're able to do this in a faster way than some of our traditional students.
I was able to see all the stuff through the program that I was learning, and I apply it immediately, in action, and kind of test things out.
It's been very interesting to encounter them maybe where they're supposed to interview a certified teacher and have these discussions, and just happen in those moments and hearing them share conversations, and then going back into their classrooms and then practicing something that was an assignment. It's been really neat to see, and I think it's opened doors and also broadened horizons.
There are many folks that are interested in becoming teachers, and there are many folks who have talent to become teachers. What's been missing is the opportunity to do so.
If you're working on a full-time school employee salary, the cost of post-secondary education is out of reach. Although I love traditional student teaching, it is a very expensive option, 12 to 18 weeks without pay, and they're paying tuition.
In Nevada, apprentices aren't allowed to pay for their coursework, so it helps us understand that we have to provide robust financial support to these students to make sure that there's no out-of-pocket cost to them.
The fact that I can get a good education and not have the stress of being like, I have to pay for this now, because I do hear it a lot. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, I can't go to school because I can't afford it.
One thing we know about traditional programs is that oftentimes, courses are offered Tuesday, Thursday at 10 a.m. Well, that doesn't work for students who have a full-time job.
We needed to create a program that could remove those financial barriers, but could also remove those logistical barriers such as scheduling courses.
We offer our programming asynchronously, meaning that you don't have to be in person for classes. All the assignments are laid out for you, you know what you need to do, and whenever you have time to do it, you can make it work for your schedule.
One of the things that we learned from the pilot cohort was it wasn't just financial resources that students need. Many of our apprentices had tried college before and found that it wasn't for them. They experienced too many barriers. What we tried to do is create a system that facilitates their success with what we call concierge support.
The application went through, and then it was time to register for classes. I was going in to look at them, and then I was so surprised to find out that we have a concierge service, and they actually pick the classes for you. And it's so helpful because that takes all of that stress away.
I loved having guidance throughout the whole program, because that's exactly what I need, because life happens, and I'm like, I need somebody that can keep me on track. And I'm a full-time mom, a full-time working mom, and then going back to school, it just seemed like a lot on my plate.
Instead of going to the college on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm able to set out a time for myself on Saturdays and Sundays and really just focus on my schoolwork.
The program staff are here to support you. They want you to succeed. I would say that was the best part of the program, is you just, no other worries. Your focus is learning and getting through the class and moving on to the next one.
We're not just rural, we're isolated. Rural might be a farm community 20 miles out of town. We are isolated, we're 100 miles. We don't have a lot of post-secondary options in our community. So having UNLV's program here has allowed my staff, who are intelligent, able, energetic, to start on their teacher training while staying home.
One of the impacts of this program is that rural and indigenous communities are being served just as much as our large urban cores. As a university, we've sometimes struggled to find ways to also commit to those communities, and we want to find mechanisms to reduce the barriers for any Nevadan.
Offering hybrid models of online learning has really opened up the program to a lot more students than just people who can physically be here in Clark County.
One of the things this program is allowing us to do is have students who may not have even thought about attending the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, offering them a pathway.
It was very important for me to stay in the community and earn my degree. This is my home. This is where my family is. This is my community. This is the school, the same school I went to.
My whole family lives here. We're big in the mining community. There wasn't an option for me to move somewhere else to attend college. It was just awesome that I was able to attend this program from Elko. From little Elko, I'm attending UNLV.
I think the biggest piece is to believe in the people in the community around you. They want to be a part of school. They want to be part of the success of your community. The ability for school leaders to actually recruit future teachers who maybe hadn't considered that they could go to college and that they have this within them.
We are raising the floor while allowing people to stay at home, stay with their families, stay in their positions, earn an income, while at the same time benefiting the whole. Because the skills they learn in the program, they can come and put into practice the very next day.
One of the pieces of teacher shortages is not just filling those vacancies, but making sure those vacancies are filled by folks that will stay in the profession.
We have too many teachers who try it out for a year or 2 or 3 years. They realize how hard the job is, especially if they're doing it in isolation.
So one of our commitments is to staying a partner with the apprentice and their district for the first 3 years.
What we've been able to do in this post-program support is create these mentorship and real-time coaching experiences.
It's comforting in a sense to be like, okay, I'm not in this alone. Like, I do have a team and somebody who's supporting me, and like, you're not gonna fail, like, you're gonna make it through this.
This program made it easy for me to make connections, honestly, with the other people in my cohort. Honestly, you're with them and talking with them so much, not only through just discussion posts, right, but all the classes we attend together.
They really have the time to develop those relationships with each other that last not just while they're in their classrooms, but well beyond graduation. That lifelong partnership, I think, which is really going to help them feel supported when they're in their classrooms. They're not going to feel overwhelmed, and I think it's going to help them stay in their classrooms long term.
One of the cool things that we also see is kind of these intergenerational apprenticeship families. Somebody who went through the program in cohort 1 is then providing mentorship to somebody who's in cohort 5.
It creates leadership opportunities for teachers who engage in the support of the apprentices, but it also reinforces the work that's happening with teachers in their grade levels or departments, because we're bringing these high quality people with a different perspective who are infusing themselves into the work that's already happening. The intention behind that would be that it also increases the retention rate of those who have been in the business for a while, and we want them to stick around a little while longer with this new fresh idea and perspective joining them in the work.
What we've seen is that the interest is actually growing. A lot of our students that are in the classroom are sharing how great this program is with their colleagues that are in a similar position.
Our GPAs are similar, but our graduation rates are much higher. The student experience is more positive. They're reporting better engagement, and we're seeing those results with local school districts who are saying these apprentices are making a huge difference.
The apprenticeship program through Nevada Forward must be prioritized in our state if we want to keep gaining as a leader in education in the United States. One challenge that comes with grant funding is that you have to wait for deadlines and applications, and then things aren't as secure. If we want this to be sustainable, we have to make sure that districts and higher ed know that that funding is there. When we look at the impact of the apprenticeship program and that it's working and that it's really standing out in the nation, let's be a leader.
If the funding were to go away for these types of programs, I really want to ask some policymakers, how do you expect me to do my job? I am tasked with providing my students a safe, productive, positive environment where high quality student-centered instruction occurs. I need teachers.
Without funding and support, this program wouldn't exist. I'd have paraprofessionals into perpetuity. They wouldn't have the opportunity to self-actualize. And our kiddos would continue to struggle in classrooms that don't have fully certified, licensed, and trained educators. So everybody benefits.
When you offer programs in an innovative way, when you remove the financial barriers, students can graduate. And so what we've learned from that is that this is a scalable model.
Nevada is growing, Nevada is changing, the needs of Nevada are changing. Our higher ed institutions need to be in touch with those who are really feeling some of those pain points.
I've always envisioned Nevada Forward to be a workforce hub, and now that we learn the secrets of what makes this work, we can look at other workforce shortages in the state.
How do we make sure that or find creative ways to get more nurses, to get more doctors? UNLV, UNR, TMCC, Great Basin, all the different universities, we don't have the capacity to turn out enough teachers to even support our state.
This is just the tip of the iceberg of how we can think about partnerships with our higher ed institutions moving forward as a larger community and engine of economic growth and development, and creating those infrastructure and career pathways for the future Nevadans.
The UNLV College of Education is a college about education for all. And what we are concerned with ultimately is increasing access to higher education so that we can build the workforce that Nevada needs for tomorrow.